the soft and fading light has crossed the west horizon and has bidden us good night. And what a lovely night it is to walk a moonlit field, to see the softer shades that are by starlight now revealed. So why is it that now, when all is quiet and at rest, when candles glow and all the world is at its very best, the ponies of Equestria should lock themselves away to shun the moon and wait instead for Sister's sunny day?
Hello everyone and welcome to yet another Winchester Wednesdays. And oh god, that's peaking, or was peaking. I'm so sorry for headphone users. Anyways, yes, I'm back, at least for this week. I'm not quite sure. I've just been going through a lot of crap, and so has Orange Shirt Guy, my one co-host. But yeah, so anyways, I'll get right in here and introduce everybody to the call. Hello, call.
Hi.
No, I'm building a car. Go away.
Well, that sucks. Quit building your Mercedes and get into
was telling me about his special lube that he uses to get cords through certain tight areas.
Oh, yeah, they have to go around corners, too. Hey, Lakin, you're Pinkie Pie now.
Hi, everyone.
Lakin, what is your opinions on Larsis's lube?
It's a bit of a slippery situation, that.
Somebody kick him out of the call. Very slick, very slick.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slippery slope.
Oh, man.
Glad you could
Wait,
slide
like,
out.
are you actually seriously here for the reading?
Why, yes. What else would I be here for?
Excellent. You're ready to take back your Pinkie Pie crown?
Huzzah! Yes, I shall.
Very well.
Soft close. Do I want soft closed doors?
No, slam them
come
all the time.
What about a household type 115-volt power outlet?
Yes,
no,
totally.
Absolutely not. You got to go for the 30 amp charger, bare minimum.
No,
Well, that goes without saying.
Go for the double A's.
Heated rear seats. Yeah, we want those. Rear seat entertainment. Nah, Double R can just be bored back there.
So, anyways, getting on to our main event that's not car building. Yeah, so people here today, we have one of my lovely co-hosts, Crazy Matt's Captain.
Wait, we're not here to build cars? Darn it!
I'm gonna have to put my away with my Legos now.
Yeah, unfortunately. And also, Orange Shirt Guy will not be joining us tonight. Unfortunately, his grandmother passed away last Sunday.
Oh.
So, yeah. And that has kind of been the reason why I have been sort of gone and why I'm not sure whether or not this will be going on in, like, the immediate future. I'm hoping that I will be able to continue it. But the reason why I've been gone the last few weeks is we put my grandmother on hospice. So, kind of been kind of shaky for the last few weeks. But I'm starting to go and pull out of it and get into sort of this purgatory state where I'm just like, okay, I have to go and actually get back to doing things. So, while we're here, next up we have our wonderful fic editor, Double R Forest.
Sometimes I feel like a single R Forest. Sometimes I feel like a triple R Forest. But here I am.
You're not good enough to be one of the two single R forests.
I'm sorry, but this isn't the feelings forum. This isn't the place for that.
I need to get this off my chest.
Plot twist, he's actually a pirate. Arr.
My problems have been solved. I think I'm having a breakthrough.
Yes.
And speaking of breaking through walls, the person that's the best at breaking into your stream and making puns, we have Lycan.
Hello, everyone. I am back after about 6 or 7 weeks overseas. So
fun.
And currently everything is breaking. I broke my modem, so I didn't have internet for like a few days when I got back. And now my TV is broken. Huzzah!
How's the jet lag?
Still kind of getting used to that. It wasn't too bad because I came from Thailand, where it's only about a 3 hours difference. But it still means that I'm staying up a lot later than I should.
So yes. So next we have, or continuing with tall people, I guess. We have our wonderful narrator, Larsis.
I learned yesterday that the Australian Research and Space Exploration, or ARS, is a thing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You should, yes, to explore and understand the deep unknown.
Yeah, you should check out our ass.
I am right now.
Alrighty, and moving on with audiovisual technicians, we have Datsmore.
What am I audio visualizing today?
Arse.
Arse?
Arse.
All right, we're going to need some uplighting. We
So
really
many
want to
arse.
illuminate that arse.
What is it about my arse that you're trying to insinuate?
Well, I mean, Lars was bringing in the lube, so I'm bringing in the lighting.
Oh. We're going in that direction. Okay.
Alrighty, so speaking of things that light up your day, we have Marzi.
Nice segue.
So Mars is a thing now? Gosh, Winchester.
And speaking of people that are terrible at making jokes, we have Coal Dust.
So we're moving from us to the gas giant that is Uranus.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect.
Too much laughing! Oh, I got like 5 more 8mm cameras that no one needs, but I've got them now.
They're great for displaying on things.
Oh, hell
So
yeah.
you're the hero that
also
need-
another projector.
Wait.
So that's what brought the lighting. Cole brought the cameras.
Yes.
Yeah, actually. Okay,
And Larsis has the
who brought
lube.
the action?
Well, I can start that job now.
Does anyone in the
Winchester
chat
directing
have
the film?
does anyone in the chat have a black sofa on which we can find Talon?
Actually, I have a black sofa.
Perfect.
Winchester can actually vouch for me on that one.
Hey,
So-
Winchester,
so
have
you-
you slept on his
Could you
black sofa?
say that I could couch for you on that one?
No, he really can't.
Boo.
There's only one person in this chat allowed to do that, and he's Australian.
Winchester, if I had a buzzer for wrong answers, I would buzz it now. But I don't. So all I've got is this.
Ooh. Cole, speaking of noisemakers you need, buzzer. We need a buzzer.
Oh,
Yes, one of those.
Oh, God.
Eventually. One day.
So
You know what? I just ordered things off of Amazon. I should have looked for that. Damn it.
So yes, in other news, if anybody is going to Cider Fest, I will be there. Orange Shirt Guy will be there. Double R will be there. Larsis will be there. And I think that's everybody that's in this call right now.
Yes, it's Cider Fest. He works for me.
Yes, Larsis conned me into being con staff.
Yes, I gave him a massive staph infection. It's a horrible thing.
And then he joked about me being staff and then backed down, and that made me feel bad.
No. You're free. You get to roam the halls and throw people to water cooler or whatever.
Yes, I know.
What type of staph infection? So I know what type of antibiotics.
AV staph
the most
infection. It's the
insidious
worst.
kind.
Wait, so if Winchester's got staff now, does that mean he can really stick it to him?
Yes.
Cool.
So, Larsis, while we're up there, we're also going to be training Orange Shirt Guy on mixers.
We are?
Yes.
Okay, so what he needs to know is his browns and his clears and his bitters.
Yeah. Except that wasn't the type of mixers I was talking about, but yeah, that.
No, those are the kinds of mixers we're training him on.
Okay. He will probably enjoy that. Also, actually, quick question for somebody that knows how things work at Cider Fest. Would he still be able to join in with the pub trot without getting any of the special perks? Just go along with everybody without the special badge thing that's sold out.
Yeah, he can walk along, but he won't gain the special perks like you said.
Okay. So
he can physically enter bars as long as he's over 21.
Yeah. So and are the only special perks the badge thing and the glassware?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So cuz he was kind of wanting something to do after we got there, and I'm going to be helping set up stuff, and he would probably like to go out and actually do something, so I figured him and Skyrace could go off and do that.
Here's the thing about that too. Remember how you normally just help with cleanup and I'm like, go roll the cables?
Yeah.
Now I get to tell you, go unroll the cables. Actually, rather, I get to tell you.
They hating.
Actually, I get to tell you, go sort the cables because that is actually a very useful thing to have. Is sort cables.
You're telling me the cables are actually less sorted when we get the boxes than when we.
Yes, they actually are.
Why am I not surprised? Anyways, speaking of being unsorted and unorganized, let's start into the reading, I guess.
All right. Today's reading is the AMG Premium Package, which is $3,600 and includes evasive. Actually, this is the wrong tab. Shit. It Takes a Village, Chapter 10 by Dieterman Fid. I will be your narrator. Coal Dust is going to be playing a bunch of people, including Just Cause, Apple Bloom, the Press Pony, and Bon Bon. Winchester is going to play a brother and sister who run a family farm. Double R is going to just be doing Spike. Yeah.
Screw you too.
CMC is multi-talented because he's doing Twilight Sparkle and Sweetie Belle. Datsmore is playing both Fashion Horse and Fast Horse.
Shipper.
Yeah.
Quality horse.
Lycan is playing Leslie Nielsen.
Hi, I'm Pinkie Pie.
Rarity is going to be doing Fluttershy, Miramare, and Lyra. And I will be doing a fanboy. So, It Takes a Village, Chapter 10 by Dieterman Fid.
Oh, shoot. It starts with me. Okay, here we go.
Yes, it does. Congratulations.
Mr. Spike. C/O, Ponyville Square, Ponyville. Dear Spike, some information has come to light concerning Huffy. I have been following up your suggestions from the last time we spoke, and there have indeed been some clues as to the whereabouts of her. When she ran away 10 years ago, she and Trixie were performing in Palfreyton. Palfreyton. Most ponies, including myself, that Huffy must have run into the nearby Palomino Woods. Yet, when those woods were searched, there was no sign of her. Further, the Palomino Woods have had no unexpected fires or noises since her disappearance. However, Palfreyton is only 3 days canter to the Great Bunbury Brushlands, and that is a different tale. There have been 3 different fires in that huge, sprawling forest, the first occurring almost exactly 10 years ago, and 3 weeks after Huffy ran away. There is a pall of smoke hanging over the western edge of the brushlands that has not moved for the last 6 years, which would be consistent with Huffy's maturity. Finally, and perhaps most conclusively, there is a rumor circulating the nearby village concerning a great and powerful creature that lives within it. As the Brumbly Brushlands have always been home to strange and unusual beings, these signs have unfortunately been overlooked. Tomorrow, I intend to enter the Brumbly Brushlands to discover whether the creature spoken of is Huffy. I am counting on her remembering me, even though our meeting was long ago and she was very young. Several other members of the RSCPD are accompanying me. If you do not hear from me in 3 days, please inform the authorities of my actions. Thanks to your suggestions, Spike, we may finally be close to finding a dragon we failed so many years ago. It is worth any risk. Sincerely, Just Cause. President, Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Dragons.
Spike heaved backwards at the stump. It came free far more easily than he was expecting, showering clods of earth from its roots as it tore from the ground. Big Macintosh's eyebrows rose slightly, the only reaction visible.
Might be that we need to go back to the drum board.
Spike let the stump of the old apple tree fall from his claws.
Huh?
Well, being that you're stronger than you were, perhaps we need to do a few more exercises.
Spike screwed up his face.
If you think so.
Now, don't be like that. Won't take nearly so long as you won't be starting from scratch.
I guess.
Use these stumps for practicing. Try applying your strength slowly instead of all in one go.
Spike eyed the next one and nodded.
Right.
He dug around the stump, his claws easily digging through the rich, musty earth before setting them firmly around the base. Then he very slowly leaned back, applying his strength incrementally as it was harder than it sounded, and he had to restrain the urge to yank the thing out immediately. The stump jerked slightly as he plied it with a little more, and then came free with a rain of soil.
That's more like it.
Macintosh nodded approvingly. Spike threw the stump aside.
How many more?
I'll say there's only about 2 or so more. Won't take you no time at all.
Spike rubbed his forehead with the back of one forepaw, leaving a streak of dark dirt, and then moved on to the next.
Okay then, Stump, you are coming out.
He began to slowly employ his strength, his muscles gradually tightening.
Must say, it's right kind of you to offer to do this.
No problem.
Spike concentrated on keeping the tension escalating smoothly instead of jerkily.
Don't think I haven't noticed what you're doing about the place. You're being a real help to us, Spike.
The stump came free, the long taproot sliding out from the ground, and Spike moved on to the next stump.
Well, you've been helping me. It seems only fair to help you back, yeah?
But to move the water tower, rake the foul fields for planting with your claws, pull up these old stumps, heat up that water for Granny. Seems a little,
Just trying to help.
Spike gripped the final stump and began to pull. Macintosh eyed him steadily.
And it hasn't escaped me that you're being a help in other areas, too.
Spike pulled the stump free and gave Macintosh an artless look as he dusted his claws off.
Don't know what you mean.
Don't play dumb with me, Spike. I saw you pushing Miss Twilight and Miss Fluttershy to dance at the party.
He adjusted his heavy collar before a tiny smile flitted across his large red face.
Don't think I can thank you enough for it.
So it went well? Your walk?
It did. And that's all I'm saying on that subject.
Spike squashed the little shout of delight bubbling up inside of him.
I'm glad.
Yep. Well,
Spike snickered to himself and began to pile the stumps.
What should I do with them?
charcoal, you think?
Charcoal it is.
Spike nodded. Taking a few paces back from the pile of gnarled old wood, he took a deep, measured breath and roared at them for a couple of seconds. Green fire flickered over the stumps, and it caught immediately.
Nicely done.
Thanks.
What have you got planned for the rest of the morning?
They watched the old stumps burn merrily. Spike picked dirt from his claws, his shoulders slumping a little.
Well, Twilight wants to have a sort of brainstorming session about the fight. We're all meeting after lunch. I'm hoping some pony comes up with some sort of strategy, because I got nothing.
I see. Well, you got some clever friends, and no doubt they'll all come up with something.
I've got my claws crossed. Just wish we could think of something to do about all the stupid press as well.
They still not letting up?
They're staking out the gate of Sweet Apple Acres as we speak, waiting for me to start back into town. I'm sick of everything I do being front page news. Hasn't that burned long enough, do you think?
Yep.
Spike dug briskly into the ground for a moment, and then began to shower the burning woodpile with earth. The flames doused almost immediately, and smoke began to rise as a neat pyramid of soil formed around the former bonfire. He blew out the flames that still rose from the top and stepped back to view it. Within the cairn of earth, the wood would continue to blacken and burn, but at a far slower rate.
Might need to keep an eye on that for a day or two.
I'll be doing that.
Macintosh walked forward to stand alongside him, his head tilted.
Ever thought of charcoal burning as a trade?
Along with everything else? Maybe I can fit it in somewhere.
Spike!
The call came from within the rows of apple trees, and Spike jerked his head around to see Apple Bloom racing at full gallop towards them.
Oh, Spike, you ain't ever going to believe it.
Bloom, slow down. You gonna trip.
I ain't gonna trip, Big Macintosh.
She scowled at her brother as she neared, her sides heaving.
Spike, it's all over Equestria. Spike,
Spike hit a wince.
Ray, more news?
yeah, but this is different. Sapphire Shores.
Hang on. The Sapphire Shores?
She's gone and written a song about ye.
A song?
Yeah, it's called Full of Fire. And it's so sad and nice. It's all over the radio, and every pony's playing it.
It's sad.
Full of fire?
Oh, pony feathers.
Oh, it's so sad. So Saul about wanting to stay your friend and how you're full of fire to be with MN. Protect him.
Protect him.
Protect him. Even the whole wide world don't want you to. Almost made me cry. I don't mind admitting it's all slow and poignant. All about the tragic sort o' hero carrying on against the odds and all alone and heartbroken and brave.
Apple Bloom, I'm right here.
But it was so sad.
I have a song written about me by Sapphire Shores. A big, tragic, sad song. My life is so bizarre.
Macintosh seemed to be having a coughing fit.
And the chorus is so romantic and tender and moving.
Apple Bloom continued with a soulful expression and warbled horribly.
It goes, cause I got a heart under these scales that's being only for home, and at the end of the day I don't want to be alone, and I'm telling you true. I'm not so different from you. Why can't you hear me say I'm full of fire? Stay.
Spike closed his eyes in mortification.
Oh, shoot.
Macintosh's coughing fit was getting worse.
I'm never going to live it down. Never. Twilight's going to torture me mercilessly.
Oh.
Macintosh straightened up somewhat, wiping his eyes with his hoof.
Well, I'm sure she wouldn't.
She would.
Macintosh began coughing again.
People will sing it bouncily at me, and Rarity will be kind to me, and Flutter will say it's nice, and Applejack will hide her grin, and Rainbow Dash will laugh forever.
Macintosh doubled over, tears squeezing from his eyes.
You might want to get that cough checked on, Macintosh.
Apple Bloom gave him an enduring sort of smile.
Just wait till Apple Bloom hears. I bet she'll perform it for her whole village. Sweetie Belle. Sweetie, I'm confused.
Spike turned on his heel and began to march towards the gate.
I gotta go.
Spike?
Later.
His face was violet with embarrassment.
Okay.
He was greeted by the now familiar flash of camera bulbs as he neared the gate of Sweet Apple Acres.
Spike! What do you think of the new hit single Sapphire Shores, The Pony of Pop, has written?
Spike let his head drop to his chest and groaned loudly. Twilight greeted with a smirk tugging at the corner of her mouth, her eyes twinkling.
Don't.
I see you've heard the news.
Just don't.
He sat down heavily on the cobbles, pulling his wings over his head with his forepaws.
I'm never coming out. I'm staying under here forever. Just build around me, okay?
Oh, Spike, it's not all that bad.
A green eye glared at her from between the folds of the wing. She burst out laughing.
Okay. It is that bad. Still, it could get some ponies to change their mind about you. And that's a good thing, right?
Twilight, it's called Full of Fire. Full of fire, Twilight.
She sniggered and nudged his wing.
I know. How much of it have you heard?
Too much.
And did you like the bit about soaring above my shadows? I think that's my favorite line.
I hate everything and every pony.
Come on out. We've got to get started on this planning session.
You're all going to be snickering at me. The whole of Equestria is snickering at me. I thought it was bad before.
Spike, no ponies snickering at you.
We're snickering at that totally uncool, unrad, and unawesome song.
Spike peeked out from under the trailing edge of his wings to see her swoop into the square. There was a smirk on her face as well, so Spike clamped his wings back down.
Well, look at this, would ya? Big old scaredy dragon, scared of a silly little song.
A song by Sapphire Shores about me called Full of Fire.
Twilight burst into laughter again.
Sorry.
Sure you are.
Dash was definitely sniggering now.
Well, looks like you're not actually soaring above your sorrows, flying on wings of hope.
She quoted with what Spike felt to be intolerable smugness, like Jeremy Clarkson levels of smugness. Twilight fell backwards into another gale of laughter.
No, that's not very nice. Teasing on poor Spike could just cause some fool filly to wrote a bunch of hooey about him.
And put it on the radio.
All over Equestria.
Dash joined Twilight in another round of giggling.
Save me, Applejack. They're destroying my will to live.
Come on out there, Spike. I won't let him. What was it? Break the heart under them scales?
And the farm pony began to chuckle. Spike growled. His friends? Sadists.
You guys, have you heard it? Isn't it the most catchy, hoof-tapping, party-popping, danciest tune you've ever heard? I'm gonna put it in my jam. First song, Pride of Place. And if any pony asks, I'll be all, that's all my Spike. That's all my friend Spike. And they'll be like, oh, wow, Pinkie Pie, you know Spike. And I'll be all, hey, sure I know. Hey, why is Spike under his wing? Is he hurt? Oh no, he's not hurt, is he?
Depends on what you mean by hurt.
He's dead of embarrassment. Rest in peace, Spike.
Oh.
Apparently he's staying under there forever.
Spike could just imagine her wiping away her tears from her eyes.
Forever.
Oh dear, forever? Goodness, that's quite a long time.
Well, the poor darling, such a mortifying thing to happen. And so tacky.
Not helping.
Spike, please, come on out. Promise we won't laugh anymore. Look, it's all out of our system, okay? Come on out and we can get started on this challenge.
Spike hesitantly unfurled his wings, peeking out at them. He was dreadfully aware of his violently blushing face and humiliated expression. Five mares stifled a snicker. Rainbow Dash wasn't so restrained and rolled over, kicking her legs as she convulsed with hilarity.
Ignore her, darling. She's just jealous she never had a song written about her.
Dash sat up abruptly, bristling with indignation.
Hey, I could totally have a song written about me. You see?
Rarity rolled her eyes skywards. Spike tried to control his burning face and gave up.
I am so embarrassed.
Sorry, Spike. It's just...
It's an awful song, I get it.
His wings flopping dejectedly behind him.
Actually, it's a really, really good song.
It's only because we know you that, well...
It don't fit you in the slightest. It's all sad and tragic.
Don't get us wrong, you've got some of that going on, but it doesn't exactly mesh with the spiky wakey we've known for so long.
The one who's funny, snarky, and occasionally silly, snores like a thunderstorm, and does things like streak dirt over his forehead and forget about it.
Spike rubbed at his head, and his forepaw came away black with soil. He blushed even harder. if possible.
Well, thanks, guys, but seriously, please don't quote it. Ever.
You got it.
Cross my heart and hope to fly. Stick a cupcake in my eye.
No problem, Sugar Cube.
Certainly not. Repeat that vulgar thing.
Oh, of course not, if that's what you'd like.
Blackmail material for years, wasted.
You'll get yours, Sparkle.
She smiled sunnily.
I look forward to it. Now, shall we get started?
Spike sighed explosively and folded his wings on his back neatly. Carefully avoided the sympathetic, amused eyes of his friends as they settled down around him. Twilight's horn glowed briefly, and a quill and parchment slid from her saddlebag.
Okay then. I think we should start by listing the known weaknesses and strengths of our combatant.
Applejack whispered to Pinky.
Who?
Spike and Razorfang.
Oh. Why didn't y'all just say that, Twi?
She likes showing off her education.
Spike couldn't resist the dig after all the teasing. Twilight gave him a mock glare.
Oh snap. Now can anybody think of anything?
Well, Razorfang's really big.
Eyes?
Twilight wrote that down.
But I don't think he's as fast in the air as me. At least, it didn't seem so when I saw him fly that one time. Maybe it has something to do with how much air he displaces?
Yeah, that sounds about right. It'll take him longer to get in the air as well. Kind of like how I can get in the air faster than you. Or anybody else for that matter.
Speed, liftoff, faster.
Definitely stronger than Spike.
Oh yeah.
Spike remembered the gigantic green claws raking the mountainside, though it were sun-warmed butter.
Loads stronger.
Would he be as agile, though? Spike threaded his way through all those barrels last week, after all.
Spike could feel his cheeks heating again, and he ducked his head a little.
I don't think he's all that agile. He seems kind of old, to tell the truth. He's got a lot of reach on me, though.
Reach, agility, strength.
How about your fire? Can he do that green-white fire or invisible one?
Spike frowned.
I don't know. I've seen him flame a few times, but his fire's always been, normal. Big, but normal. Really, really, really big. But red, not green.
Ah,
Spike recognized her lecturing tone with resignation.
that's another side effect being hatched by magic, Spike. Your flame is a different color, and it acts as a conduit for small inanimate objects, like letters. Razorfang obviously hatched naturally, so his fire has no special ability.
Except the ability to turn me into a piece of toast.
Yeah. Well, apart from the obvious.
Didn't you once say you were fireproof?
Sorta. Normal fire's okay, and of course my fire can't hurt me, but...
Razorfang singed him before, remember? When he was a baby. He can be burnt.
It all depends on the fire. And unfortunately, dragon fire will do it.
Still, that means your fire's just as likely to get him.
Did you ever see that fireball he blew at me? He's got a lot more flame than me, let me tell you.
I bet he ain't as clever with his claws as you.
Spike frowned.
I don't think so. But he's a lot bigger than me, and his scales are a lot harder.
Armor.
Twilight began writing again.
He only has to be lucky once. I have to be lucky all the time.
Now, please, don't think like that, Spike.
You're twice as awesome as that mean old bully.
Unfortunately, he's 5 times as much dragon. This doesn't look terribly optimistic, you guys.
Well, we haven't finished yet. What else do we know about him?
Could you make him so terribly cross that he loses his concentration?
Well, Probably. He's got a real short temper, but
But
I don't much like the idea of doing that. It doesn't seem right.
Keeping your opponent off balance is a perfectly acceptable strategy under the circumstances.
Spike squirmed.
Yeah, I guess. But it doesn't seem right. It's the sort of things I could use to make him angry.
Are the sort of things you shouldn't.
That's right.
Spike was glad that some pony understood it.
I mean, if I brought up his family or his territory, it would be a surefire way to get him seeing red. But
that's very principled, Spike. But can you really afford to have such high-minded morals in this situation?
probably not. But it doesn't matter. I just couldn't stand it if I did that to any dragon else. It's just wrong.
Very decent of your Spike.
Very suicidal, too.
Spike ignored that.
What else have we got?
Well, your aim is no doubt better than his.
I can attest to that. Darn good pupil.
You can swim.
Not really appropriate to the situation, Pinky.
Spike met Twilight's eyes.
Hang on.
He nodded before leaning towards the party pony intently.
What do you mean, Pinky?
Well, you could lure him to a lake or river because you're so much zippier than him, and that'd put his fire out for a little while, wouldn't it?
Now we're getting somewhere.
Perhaps you could use your aim to get mud or something in his eye.
Great idea, Fluttershy.
Twilight wrote furiously.
Can you fly while you're carrying a rock?
Spike frowned.
Don't know. I can try.
Well, you could drop one on his head.
In response to the resulting disbelieving looks, she sniffed, a lofty expression on her face.
Just because a pony is ladylike, it doesn't mean she can't.
Suggest braining a dragon with a rock?
Rarity pursed her lips.
Well, if you insist on using such a common sort of phrase.
Spike lowered his eyes. He wasn't all that keen on that idea either. Rarity noticed.
What, is that one no good as well? It's simply not my day, is it? Do remind me not to design anything this afternoon. It's sure to be atrocious.
Spike rubbed the back of his neck, his mind a whirl.
It's a good idea, Rarity. They both were. It's just...
Spike?
He's had a really rotten deal, alright? His family was killed, and he's been alone for ages and ages and ages, and it's turned him all sour inside. He's so lonely, Twilight. He's helped me with the flying, yeah? And he's told me a lot about being a dragon, even though he might turn on me any moment if I stick my foot in it. He spies on me just for something to do. I think I interest him. I'm the first new thing he's come across in Celestia knows how many years.
Spike, you can't forfeit your whole life just because you feel sorry for him.
I know. I don't get it. I don't get him.
Spike slumped over onto his belly and elbows.
You and every pony else.
Maybe that's it then.
Twilight gnawed the tip of the quill as she thought.
Maybe you need to ask some pony who's not a pony about him.
I don't know any other dragons, Twilight. Razorfane's got this issue with explaining himself. I don't think he's likely to spell it all out for me.
No, that's not what I meant. Ask the Wormstat ambassador at the gala.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
Well, you've got a lot on your mind. All this press, the protests, the challenge, all that work.
That song.
Yes, thank you, Pinky. That song, your house.
I get the picture.
Spike felt rather overwhelmed hearing it all rattle off that way, like a country music song.
Holy guacamole, how did everything get so complicated?
You outgrew the library.
Oh,
Did the princess send the tickets?
yeah, yesterday. 7 of them, as before.
She stifled a small whimper.
Come on, Fluttershy. It'll be fine.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, it can't be worse than strolling in after some pony's written a completely embarrassing song about you.
I suppose.
Control?
What?
6 pairs of eyes fixed on her curiously. Pinkie Pie leaned forward, her face uncharacteristically serious, eyebrows high, and blue eyes wide.
That's what Spike's been doing all month, isn't it? Learning control. That's what he's really got over silly, cranky, lonely old Razorface.
Razorfang.
Potato, eggplant.
Eggplant?
Control. Yeah, that's a word I know and loathe.
That's gotta be worth more than size and strength and fire and all thatness.
I think.
Fluttershy piped up before subsiding timidly.
No, go on, Fluttershy.
Well, I think with dragons, that is, that you have to be very brave and stand up to them. They respect that. I mean, that's what I've noticed. I could be wrong.
Good thing our little Spike is the bravest dragon there is, then.
Yeah, good thing.
Twilight tilted her head, regarding her list with a pensive expression.
Well, that's a great start. Good work, every pony. I'm sure we'll be able to get something out of all this.
Keep thinking about plans, you guys. We'll stump this big bully yet.
I do hope we were able to help.
Thanks so much.
Are you feeling more confident now?
He gave her a shy little smile.
Well, a bit.
He really didn't want to confess the dread building somewhere in his stomach. He was just so outmatched, no matter how they plotted and planned.
Good to hear.
I have to get back to the animal shelter. I really am so sorry.
Don't be. Thanks for all the help.
The others began to stand. As every pony made their goodbyes, Rarity gestured to Spike to lower his head to her level.
Spike, darling, I wonder if you'd come by the boutique tomorrow.
Another scarf?
She laughed, waving one hoof elegantly in dismissal.
Oh no, dear, not this time. But it is a surprise for you.
I get another surprise?
Rarity gave him a demure little smile.
You'll see.
Rarity waved with practiced grace and began to make her way back to the Carousel Boutique. Spike straightened up, staring after her wistfully. She was so very small.
What's on your mind, Romeo?
Nothing.
It didn't matter. Twilight began to sing under her breath.
I'm not so different from you. Why can't you hear me say I'm full of fire to stay?
That's it!
He rounded on her. She shrieked with laughter and cantered for the safety of the library, a juvenile dragon tearing after her and shouting threats.
The Great and Powerful Trixie, Cobb & Co. Coach House, Seattle. Dear Great and Powerful Trixie, as you probably guessed from the size of this letter, this is Spike. I'm writing for 2 reasons. First, to thank you for your sentiments. That's the most honesty I've ever seen from you, even if you couldn't sign to it. We've had our differences, but your letter showed a different sort of pony. One who is willing to admit to her mistakes and move on. I'd like to be that pony's friend. About your advice, I'm definitely trying not to let any pony's opinions tell me who I am, but it's not always easy, especially when you're such a big target. I know I'm the luckiest dragon in history to have a sister like Twilight, and she means the world to me too. The second reason I'm writing is to tell you that I might have news of your older sister. I've been told the story of yourself and Huffy, and there's a slim chance that you may be reunited with your friend after all these years. I'm not sure if you remember your dealings with Juss, the leader of the RSPCD. He's been following up some leads I suggested in locating Huffy, and he believes he has found a trail. I hope to have confirmation in a few days' time, if all goes well. I sure hope it does. I hate to get your hopes up if this lead doesn't pan out, but it just didn't seem fair not to tell you. I'm sending this the normal way, but if you want to contact me a bit faster, you could send it via magical signature. That's how Twilight puts it. I don't understand it myself. It'll be sent through my fire that way. Sincerely, Spike.
Oh my.
Marimar stepped off onto solid earth once more, a foolish grin on her face.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Oh my.
Her eyes sparkled, and her mane was swept back by the wind into an aerodynamic cone.
Let me take care of this.
Applejack whispered to Spike and led the stunned and beaming mayor away with gentle hooves.
So, who's next?
Spike looked up at what once had been quite a long queue, but now had dwindled to only 3 or 4 ponies. The rest were sitting on the grass above the cliffside, watching and laughing and talking after their flight.
Only 4? Okay, hop on up.
You sure you can carry me along with 3 others? I ain't exactly no lightweight.
Piece of cake.
Spike crouched down once more.
Come on, every pony, on you get.
My turn, my turn, my turn!
Sweetie Belle stepped lightly onto Spike's knee, and then skittering over his back to where seats had been strapped. Spike had gotten used to the odd feeling of metal-shod hooves on his scales.
Strap yourself in now.
He spoke to Sweetie as Macintosh gingerly tested Spike's knee with one large, shaggy hoof. Turning back to see the big red stallion, Spike huffed.
Come on already.
Macintosh looked a little put out.
Just making sure.
It's fine. I'm strong enough. I promise. Now come on. Did you want to fly or not?
That decided him. Macintosh scrambled up Spike's side as quickly as he could, strapping himself into one of the seats with astonishing speed. The last 2 waiting to be seated were a pair that Spike wasn't familiar with. He smiled as unthreateningly as he was able, and they hesitantly made their way towards him.
Hi, I'm Spike.
We know.
I'm Lyra Heartstrings.
Bonbon.
Lyra ducked her head shyly. She was a mint green unicorn with a streaked mane. Her cream-colored friend straightened, tossing her pink and blue curls.
Overzealous Bonbon.
Nice to meet you. All aboard?
The pair rather tentatively began to clamber up his side, placing their hooves delicately, and Spike snorted.
You're not going to hurt me if that's what you're being so cautious about. Tough scales, you know?
Ow!
She yanked her friend up Spike's side, and they grabbed the seat once more before Macintosh, or the seat before Macintosh. Spike turned his head to peer down at every pony, neck arching. He spoke to Lyra.
Could you move over to the right a little? I'm not exactly evenly balanced.
She looked a little startled, but shunted over within the makeshift seat and strapped herself in with a flare of her horn. Spike smiled.
Thanks.
Right! Scootaloo flew to a point above Spike's head, and addressing his 4 passengers, "These are the safety rules. You better listen up, because every dragon is different, and the rules won't be the same if you fly on another one."
Is she kidding?
Spike heard Lyra whisper to Bonbon, "In case of emergency, don't, and I repeat, don't jump off Spike. We have a unicorn standing by if he hits a sudden downdraft or something."
I'm fine with downdrafts.
"But she can't catch you and a dragon, so just stay put. Keep your seatbelt on at all times, and the pilot better not tell you to take it off, otherwise he's looking at a tail kicking."
Who gave you this job anyway?
"I volunteered. Now shh! Keep your host close to you at all times, and please don't tickle the pilot mid-flight."
Did you make all this up too?
"I'm doing my civic duty. Cheering, whooping, and yells of 'Yeah!' are strongly encouraged, and you may talk to your pilot as long as he's not being a grumpy pants, which he is, so don't talk to him."
You are in so much trouble.
"Full of fire, Spike." His claws bunched in the soil to the cliff top as he blushed.
I hate you.
I know! Lastly, though, yelling is encouraged. It's advised that you keep your mouth shut for the lowest 100 meters or so, because swallowing a bug often offends.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Twilight?
Spike turned his head around to where his sister stood. Her hoof was pressed against her lips and her eyes were watering slightly.
Oh, go on, laugh.
Her hoof flew away and she immediately burst into chuckles.
Oh, that's gonna be the end of any argument from now on.
Spike rolled his eyes heavenwards and muttered to himself.
This'll pass. It'll pass. It'll all pass.
Hate to say it, but it's made double platinum.
Spike's head thudded to the ground heavily as every pony began to giggle at the spectacle of their dragon embarrassed beyond belief.
Okay, all right, leave him be.
Applejack spoke sternly, though mirth danced in her green eyes.
I promised I wouldn't laugh at him about that silly song no more, and I won't. Twy, you quit right now before you hurt his feelings. All you cut it out. Spike, I think you're ready for liftoff. Leave these hay-brains behind before they've come out of their senses.
Spike shot her an endlessly grateful look.
Applejack, I am now your slave forever and ever.
Get on with your flyboy. Twilight, pull yourself together now. You ain't able to save squat all doubled over like that. Spike, you are cleared for takeoff.
Oh,
She breathed out the last of her laughter, pulling herself together.
I'm sorry, Spike. It's just...
Hilarious, I know. I guess it's okay from you, though. I'd be wondering who replaced you if you weren't teasing me about this.
She perked up.
Did you just...
That is not permission.
She raised wide purple eyes to his.
Did I say that? Are we flying this year? I've been looking forward to this.
Spike shook his head sharply, refocusing on the matter at hoof.
Right. You ready?
Ready.
She nodded and set herself at the edge of the cliff.
Which way this time?
He squinted down at the ravine, the dam blocking one end.
That way, I think.
What is it with you and water?
Insurance.
He spread his wings.
Rainbow Dash is still at rehearsal, in case it escaped your notice. Okay, in 3, 2, 1...
His legs pushed away from the cliff top with a mighty thrust, and his wings beat once, twice, 3 times before filling with a soft zephyr that carried them serenely through the air. The cliff start wasn't necessary for these flights, but with her usual flair for the dramatic, Mayor Mare had insisted on it. The ravine could easily be seen from the town, and the spectacle of a dragon flying ponies around all afternoon might soften a few of the protesters' hearts. Just as she predicted, she had been one of the very first to get an air ride. She loved it so much that she hadn't stopped lining up all afternoon. The ponies on his back all drew in a loud breath as the ground dropped away from them, and Bon Bon whimpered as the ravine opened up below. Spike ducked his head a little, and then swooped upwards, his wings tipping open to the sun before leveling.
Yeah.
Not bad, huh?
He banked a little to turn towards the dam.
This is...
Macintosh sounded completely overawed.
Wow, the world is so far away. Beautiful, this is amazing. Thank you so much, Spike.
You're welcome.
He beat his wings twice more to gain some height.
Every pony okay back there?
Big Macintosh seems to be catching bugs.
There was a snap of a jaw being closed, and Spike chuckled a little as well, picturing Macintosh's face.
Is it always like this?
Spike thought of his first flight and winced.
Depends on the weather, really.
It's so peaceful.
Spike considered that as he beat his wings once more, and then locked down, ghosting through the air. The breeze was warm and gentle, settling under his wings easily and carrying them aloft through clear and silent stillness. He could hear it ruffling at Pony's manes and the zipping and snapping of stretch edges of his wings. It was peaceful.
I never thought of it that way.
You've been too busy showing off.
Sweetie Belle's hoof dug into his side.
Hey, I resent that. I'm not showing off. I'm just...
I know, Spike. I'm just teasing you. I get it.
I don't.
Spike's been having some problems with some naysayers.
Any pony who hasn't been living underground a rock, no, under a rock knows that.
All those protesters in front of City Hall.
Right.
Well, this might go some way towards changing their minds.
I'm just trying to help.
Well, I'm appreciating it. This is wonderful. Look, you can see our reflections in the dam.
Spike glanced down. His own face, his body elongated and rigid, skimmed over the surface of the glittering water.
Look at those amazing wings.
What?
Spike, you look...
What? I look what? Really purple? Really tired? Really big? What?
Oh no, not those.
Spike wrinkled his brow.
Do I still have dirt on my forehead? I thought I got it all off.
Spike, what they're trying to say is...
You look magnificent.
Spike almost forgot to breathe.
I what?
Well, no pony's ever gonna accuse you of being vain.
Spike looked down at his reflection once more. He tried to regard himself dispassionately, as though he were looking at some pony else. It was hard to overlook all the changes in himself that he resented for so long. And then, it clicked. His wings, broad and motionless as he glided, were huge and splendid in the sunlight. His neck and tail moved with sinuous grace, his powerful claws tucked against his long and gradually strengthening body. His head was stretched towards the horizon, framed by his fins. His scales glittered like underwater jewels. He gaped for a moment, and then grinned fiercely. Bright white fangs glinted back at him.
Looking good, Spike. Looking real good.
It had been a very long time since he'd last said that to his reflection.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
Are you seeing it now?
Yeah. Wow. How come I never...
Too close to the problem.
That's... I look...
You look like a dragon.
Surprise, surprise.
Every pony wonders what Carousel Boutique's gonna do with your shed skins. You know.
Spike blinked, his eyes jerking away from the water.
Seriously?
It's all over Clothes Horse magazine.
Every fashion magazine is writing about it. Rarity hasn't stopped gloating about it for weeks.
Spike glowed for a moment at that thought.
Well, if Rarity...
Abruptly, at that moment, some sort of dark, fast-moving shape came hurtling past them. It sprang out of nowhere, moving so rapidly that he never saw it coming. It passed barely a pony stride from his head, shooting up through his vision with deadly intent. Spike yelped in alarm as Bank left, his heart leaping into his mouth.
What was that?
He turned sharply, his wings beating frantically for more height.
There!
Lyra's hoof visible in the corner of his eye as she pointed. He followed to see where some sort of wicked-looking spear tumbling back towards the dam.
That's a harpoon. It's not even brimstone.
Harpoon?
Celestia above.
might have another.
If it gets Spike, we're all dead.
Big Mac.
Spike, get out of here. Back to the village. Go.
Hold on, every pony.
His mind reeled in shock, fury, and fear. He tipped his weight further left and banked on his wingtip, veering sharply around the face to the cliff once more. He could make out the purple and orange blurs that were Twilight and Applejack, and the rest of the crowd were converging upon them, peering over the cliff, calling to the airborne dragon and ponies, and pointing at the harpoon now splashing into the water. He beat his wings as fast as he could.
Keep an eye out!
His pulse juddering in his ears, the cliffside drew ever closer as he shot towards it like a bullet.
They might try again.
Can you see any pony down there?
No, we're going too fast.
They were speeding like a missile now, Spike's wings pushing the air behind him with frenzied force as he raced for the cliff. Rage was clawing at his mind. Rage that some pony would dare endanger his ponies. But it was drowned under the freezing fear that a second shot might come at them at any time.
Almost there.
We're going to crash into all of those ponies.
Every pony move back!
Spike backwinged at the edge of the cliff. Twilight, her face pale lavender, ran towards him instead.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Spike, are you okay?
I'm okay.
Her eyes were wide and wild.
Is anybody home?
He shook his head, backwinging furiously. She seemed to sag on the spot for a fraction of a second, before drawing herself together. Her horn glowed, and invisible hooves pushed the crowd back gently. Spike lifted himself over the lip of the cliff and thudded to the ground, immediately sinking to a crouch. His whole body was trembling. He realized somewhere under his shock.
Those cowards!
Twilight hissed in fury, her forelegs immediately wrapping around his neck.
Those cowards! Those pathetic cowards!
Spike tried to slow his madly hammering heart, tried to stop the gasping that seemed to judder up through him from the soles of his feet.
That was a harpoon. A harpoon.
Somewhere, far away, some pony was helping his 4 passengers disembark, and the knots upon his seated harness were being untied by unicorn magic. He could hear Scootaloo's voice, but couldn't make out her words, couldn't concentrate. His mind was racing over the same things. The death threat, the talk with Razorfang, a harpoon. Some pony had just tried to kill him.
Why didn't they try that earlier?
Because he didn't fly over the dam earlier.
The mayor's face was troubled, and her tone was shaken.
I wager that we'll find the device that fired that, and that thing at the lakeside. They must have been waiting for him to try that direction.
How did they know?
We didn't make these rides a secret, Spike.
Some pony just tried to kill me.
Twilight's hold grew tighter.
They're gonna regret it. Mark my words.
He swallowed, his whole body trembling.
I just wanted all this to stop.
I know.
Twilight's hoof stroked over the top of his head.
I know.
Well, I want it to stop.
He hid his face in his forepaws.
Oh, sugar cube.
The crowd watched wordlessly as their dragon struggled with his fear. His sister clung to him fiercely, her silent tears sliding on his scales that glittered like underwater jewels. This has been Chapter 10 of It Takes a Village, here on Spike TV.
Well, that was one ending.
So, Winchester, what have we learned about giving me multiple roles?
We need to
terrible
shoot you with
idea.
a harpoon
No,
first.
no. What we learned is that I should have taken Apple Bloom, and you
Yes,
should have
you
taken
should've.
Sweetie Belle.
Yes, that would have been a much fairer trait. Like, I can't do a country accent for the life of me, and although I can sing horribly, so I had that going for me.
I
Oh
think
my
that's
gosh,
kind
I
of what
went
our main
terrible.
focus was.
See, as Fashion Pony, I really gotta just like worry for my sister because like her voice is. I feel like she might be starting to smoke or something.
Well, why would you ever doubt
I
that
don't know what you mean. This is a normal pony voice, is it not?
Sweetie Belle, I'm going to your room right now. I'm searching through your sock drawer.
Hey, honey, you
Hindsight,
like
it
that?
makes sense that they both have the two deep voices. They're related.
Hey, honey, you like that pack of Virginia Slims I lent you?
No, the Virginia Slims you got me were not Virginia Slims. Those were menthols. They were not Virginia Slims.
Gotta get with the times, dear.
I hate when all these old people get around here.
Old people are the easiest to make fun of. I hate to tell you.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, well, they're most annoying too.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, there's these people that come into your readings of your fan fiction and pick voices that are completely unrelated to the characters that are at hand.
I know.
I was gonna say, Manly Rarity is excellent.
I'm just reading the whole thing or listening to everyone, and I'm just imagining Rarity just being like ripped and wearing like a wife beater.
Oh no, like I said, I just keep picturing the friendship as Manly Rarity.
Oh yeah, that too.
Now, if only and I wonder what would have happened if Lycan didn't show up at the very last second, and we had to have Russian Pinky on top of that.
You would have had Russian Pinky.
Well, you see, I would have said that whoever fired harpoon will go straight to Gulag for 1,000 years.
Oh, and Lycan's headset died.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Hugh Hefner just died.
Really?
Sorry, but who is that?
The Hef?
Yeah, Hugh Hefner, creator of Playboy.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, he's the guy who made that magazine.
Wait, you're telling me he was still alive?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he had trophy wives too.
Yeah.
I won't believe it until the Wikipedia page has been updated. It's happened before.
I guess that means that they're just going to get Dusty on the shelf.
No, they're gonna get Dusty instead. Dusty Cat.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, I know that would be interesting.
Should we really be discussing whether Dusty?
Yes. So next time I try to do Thracker's Out, I need to read the lines beforehand so that I could throw in some interesting randomness.
Oh.
Next
Because all I
time
got in there nicely was Brimstone.
And by
Next
the way,
time I should probably actually read all of the lines ahead of time. I only got the first bit of dialogue, and that was it.
and by the way, Scootaloo is best flight attendant.
Oh my god, yeah. Tops on the Scootaloo boys.
In the case of a water landing, the passenger next to you can be used as a flotation.
All right, this sucks because like I am the passenger sitting next to me. I am both Rainbow Dash and Rarity sitting next to each other. Which there, speaking of needing to read things before actually committing to anything, I had no lines in the second half, and I talked to myself in the first half.
That's what happened to me
Yep.
last time.
Thank you for choosing the Eternal Dawn, an Alicorn-class starship. In the case of a water landing, the transporter system will load you into the buffer to await rescue. In the case of a sudden cabin depressurization, the transporter system will load you into the buffer awaiting a rescue. In the case of mechanical failure, the transporter system will load you into the buffer awaiting rescue.
What
When
about
will
in case of
sandwiches
buffer
be
failure?
In the case of a transporter failure, United Airlines flight attendants will escort you from the starship.
So
What about a
Cole,
buffer
you had a-
failure? What happens then?
Then Datsmore gets involved.
Datsmore has an AV panel.
Yeah. By the way, Datsmore, we got discount you at Ciderfest this year. I got B Pendragon from Everfree Northwest, rather.
See, I'll have to meet this person at some point, but this year will not be that year.
No, should be next year. You should volunteer for staff for Everfree next year.
That may happen. Because with the sudden lack of Nightmare Nights next year, my con schedule opens up to a grand total of me doing 0 cons right now for next year.
It's funny that you phrase it that way, considering Everfree happens in May.
That's a darn shame. That's at the beginning of the year. I'm doing nothing at the beginning of the year.
Yay. So would you rather do that or Winnie again?
You tell me where I'm going and I'll go.
Cool. Everfree it is. I need someone other than Tiggs to handle musicians.
Fantastic.
So Cole, you did amazing with Bon Bon there.
I did.
You had you had so many different voices.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just really quick,
It was a lot trickier than I thought it would be.
Larsus, can I refer to B-Pen as discount Datsmore?
No, I was gonna say I'm the captain of this department. He's the EXO, which means you refer to him as Mom.
Too bad.
I also decline your request. Datsmore is a registered trademark of Datsmore Co.
Well, I already called Datsmore the discount Larsus, so...
No. You gotta understand. That would be Server Rat, who is the head of AV for Roller Pony Con.
Ah.
And what's funny about that is Tic Tac is the co-head.
I thought that... Aren't you going to High Roller Pony Con?
Yes, I get to pass that buck like no tomorrow.
So what are you doing there? Anything?
Audio lead.
Oh.
And passing of the buck. I get that's more. I get to pass the buck to someone.
Don't you usually do that?
No, I usually don't have the choice because my department passes the buck to me, and I'm on top of it.
Fair.
I thought that you just passed along to whoever was above you, like Charlie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's my options: Charlie or Charlie, and he has 50 other things to take care of. Actually, no, there is one other case I get to pass the buck, specifically at Cider Fest, where someone will come in and say, "Hey, Larsus, can we get a bunch of staff in here to move these tables?" To which I say, "No, but if we pick up that house phone over there, we can get the tables moved by the staff that we're paying to do it." Hey, Larsus, can we get a bunch of staff to help refill these water kegs? No, but if we pick up that house phone over there, the venue can refill them because we've paid for them.
It's only the best thing.
Hey, Larsus, can we get some staff to run all of these mixers?
Yep, have fun.
Yep, you have fun with that. I'll be in the bar.
Larsus, can we have some staff to drink all of these mixers?
No, because they're mine.
Larsus, can we have staff to drink all of you?
No. So, true story here. When I run AV, either Tic Tac or myself, one of us makes the most important sign at front of house. That's more. Do you know what the most important sign at front of house is?
What is the most important sign at front of house?
It's a sign that in no uncertain terms just says no.
It's only the best sign.
No, it really is. Hey, do you know what all those buttons and knobs do? No. Hey, can I leave this behind the stage? No.
Hey, can I sit
do you
in
know
the
when that
audience
panel with that
quietly
one person
and
is
not
happening?
bother anyone? Larsus, can I
Do
do
you
my job?
know what your name is?
No.
Can you say anything but no?
No. And on that bombshell...
And on that bombshell, we go into credits. So, first off, we have Datsmore.
Oh, I'm first this week. Well, I'd really like to thank the Academy and and all the fellow people here with me today. Without you, none of this would be possible. And Winchester for allowing me to come back and ruin Rarity again.
Yes. And speaking of ruining things, I don't know who I want to diss on this time, so I'm just going to say Coal Dust and move on.
I was gonna say, that seems like the only option here.
Like, I was going to say Larsus, but I could see him making my life terrible.
Yeah, but let's face it, there's one person here who totally ruined everything. And that's Winchester.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Apply cold water to the burned area.
So, what do you want, Winchester? What?
Shout out to your abs.
Shoots out.
Why would I shout out to nothing?
Shout out to the flag stirp.
Oh, that happens on Mondays. Check it, dude. At 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's Eastern, not. Yes.
Do we still need to do planning for Monday?
All of it.
Okay.
Most of it. Pretty much, yeah. All that stuff that we were going to discuss, and then we were here.
And then we fell asleep. Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of stuff. Season 2! Watch out for that when it happens. Hopefully this week. You're just hoping. I'm hoping. I'm not optimistic, but I'm hoping. Also, 8mm cameras.
Alrighty, and speaking of lots of planning, we have Larsus.
Wait, I wasn't done.
Too late. We have Larsus.
No.
I'd like to shout out to Booker's Bourbon, J.R. Ewing Bourbon, and I.W. Harper Bourbon, as well as Drew Estate and La Fort Dominica Cigars for keeping me sane last week.
Fun. You should bring some of those.
No, I already had all of those. Literally everything I just named, I consumed last week.
You should get some more of those.
No, I don't think you understand. I just named nearly $300 in stuff I consumed last week because it was the only thing getting me through last.
Oh.
Does that mean that you swallowed cigars?
Yes.
That's
What
cool.
about you?
I was gonna say they're great for the stomach and the bowels. They promote good digestion.
The sound effects guy, Fred Newman, he one time when he was a kid said to his father, "Someday I want to grow up to be a guy who can swallow cigars, lit cigars." And then his father just turned to him and said, "That's right, son, you shoot high."
Alrighty, and next on to Marzi.
I want to give shout outs to Winchester Wednesday for returning and to all the fun voices and everything and not completely derailing.
Alrighty. And shouts out to Lycan, whose headset died halfway to the or through the thing. So
Everything
and now
is
on
dying.
to CMC with his shout outs plus everything else going on throughout the week because I've been out of it for
First, shout outs to Double R who disappeared right before shout outs.
Oh yeah,
I'm
his
not
internet
sure
died.
what happened
He
there.
texted me.
What?
His internet died.
Ah, fun. Oh, words. Shouts out to fires, explosions, the usual insanity. Bonbon, so many voices breaking me in the middle of reading.
I heard you die.
Yes, I died for a whole 5 seconds there and had to pull myself in to get back to that. Because when I laugh, it tightens up things. But to get Thacker's voice, I have to relax through my chest to get deep down in here. And why is there switches going in the WW chat?
Oh, no, those are derailers.
Oh.
Devices that are put to the track to, derail things that are not supposed to be going in directions.
Awesome.
Need be.
Words. Fires, explosions, LOE things I need to poke more. Am I doing the schedule or are you?
You are.
Oh. So, Thursdays. 7th Blast does things late. I don't know. Yeah. Fridays we do RPG sessions. Right now we're going into Tales of Equestria as we've put Rowan off to the side. Yeah. That's somewhere between 8-9 p.m. Eastern when we start. Yeah. Saturdays we've got Saturday morning cartoons along with the new episode stream, and then in the evening, which is Cole, do you know what time Creature starts?
9 o'clock usually.
We
I know
have
because I'm usually late to it.
we have Creatures Gaming Meltdown at about that time. Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, we've got Circuits Let's Play, a single-player game and a multiplayer game. He just finished up Doom, so I'm not sure what's going on for the single player. And for the multiplayer, they've been toying with Borderlands and Dark Souls 2, I think it was last week here. And then on Monday at some 8 p.m. Eastern, there's something with some crazy folks that they seem to have been thrown into a train car. Cole, do you know anything about that?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's something stupid.
Oh, okay.
So go watch the stupid thing and tell us about it, because we don't want to know what it is, but we also kind of do, but not enough to actually watch it ourselves. So we need you to go and tell us about it after you've seen it, or you could just make up some stuff. Probably believe you.
Yeah, that'll work. And that's a pre-show to something the Brony Show, 9 p.m. Eastern, where they talk about Brony things and whatnot, and yeah. And then there's usually an after party of a Circuit's Coffee House after party, where he usually just throws random videos at the thing, and yeah. Yeah. And then there's Tuesday, which, Cole, is there anything Tuesdays?
Sometimes. Maybe.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Sometimes there's a drawing band. There may be gypsies involved.
Possibly. Hard to say.
Nobody's
if you
really
click
sure.
on the link that says Gypsy Drawing Band down below, it will lead you to the wrong place. So don't click that.
We do need to redirect that to the Picarto now, don't we?
Probably would be a good idea.
Gotcha. See if I can find a way into that and fix that. Or just poke CC about it. And then we have Wednesdays, where 9:30 p.m. Eastern, there's some crazy guy named Winchester who does things.
Hopefully.
As
previously stated, the next few weeks might be kind of shaky, but hopeful. I'm hoping to be back on schedule, if not before, at least after Ciderfest.
The name of that show, I'm pretty sure that's like Winchester Thursdays on Wednesday nights. Yeah.
No. It's Winchester Fridays.
Oh, Winchester Fridays. Okay.
Yeah.
It's duets more the Wednesdays.
Are you sure it's not CMI Defense Fridays?
And on that bombshell, my shout-outs go out to all you wonderful viewers out there and everybody else for showing up. It's been fun. Thank you all for showing up, and everybody say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Also, by the way, I'd like to shout out that Forest Rain is currently doing like a big collab singing thing of Wonderbolt by DB Pony. So go and record yourself singing Wonderbolt. Have a video with it. All the rules can be found on the video on her channel, which I will post a link to in the chat after. Actually, it probably doesn't even have to be after because I can probably do it right now. But, yes, so I will post that in the chat while the outro song is playing. So yes, everybody please enjoy. Thank you all for showing up. This is Winchester 572 going 10-7. I'm out. Bye-bye.